Hello, you. Oh. Hello, YouTube. I'm back again with another live video. You already know who it is. I am Damian Moody. I also go by Kashmere Majesty or Red Ron Hood. And I'm back with a Kashmere read session where I pick a book out of my collection of books, read at least one or two chapters, how, depending on how long the chapter is and how large the print of the book is. And if you're lucky, I might read more. However, I am not sharing pictures. I just read the book. A lot of my books have pictures. If you want to look at the pictures, I will leave a link in part one. That's the only place you'll find the links to each book I read in the part one video. I do not post a link in every video, but you don't really need the link. I mean, I'm just posting a link to show you where I got my copy of the book from. However, um, you can purchase a book yourself if you are a person that likes to look at the pictures as much as I do. And in this live stream, we are reading To Selena with Love by Chris Perez, the husband of Selena Quintanilla Perez. And this is a beautiful picture of Selena, and this is a commemorative edition. This includes new photos and bonus material. And I have the paperback edition of the book. We are on uh we was reading prologue. Now we are on introduction. This says To Selena with Love. This is introduction. A month before she was murdered, Selena and I drove out to the property we'd bought in Corpus Christi. It was a beautiful piece of land with a creek bordering one side and a hill that seemed to be the perfect place for us to build a house for the family we were planning. We loved driving out there at sunset and imagining our future together. Selena always told me that she wanted 5 kids, which made me laugh. Let's try having one baby first, I tell her, then we'll talk. This particular evening, Selena and I sat on top of our hill watching the wide Texas sky turn every color from pale blue to bright peach to inky purple. I want to raise our kids around lots of animals, Selena said. Every kind of animal there is. You can't put all kinds of animals together, I teased. You do that, you'll come inside and find nothing but a mound of feathers where something ate your chickens. Selena leaned her head on my shoulder. Just then, Chris, this is where our kids are going to be running around and playing someday soon. Can you believe it? I could, I told her. We continued to sit there until nearly dark. Even though what I really wanted to do was jump up and start clearing our property right away. I didn't want there to be any coyotes or rattlesnakes around to bite our kids. I wanted to protect my family. It didn't turn out that way, of course. I wasn't able to protect Selena. After Selena was killed, I sold the property we owned together. I couldn't bear the thought of living on that land without her. I couldn't bear a lot of things for a while. Lots of people asked me to write our story after Selena passed. I always said no. My feelings were too private. When we lose people who are precious to us, We all had to grieve in our own ways. My way was to keep my memory to myself. It was an automatic response for me to put a lid on my emotions after I lost Selena because my feelings were so strong. I kept pushing my grief under the surface as I tried hard to continue what was left of my life. Mm. I didn't want to think about Selena at all because the sudden loss of everything we had worked for and believed in hurts too much. I thought about her anyway, of course. Everyday things would just enter my mind uninvited. I hear one of Selena's songs on the radio or see a story about her on TV, and the pain would resurface again, sharp as a needle pricking the palm of your hand. People kept asking me questions about her too. They wanted to know why her father objected to me so strongly that Selena and I had to see each other secretly until finally, out of desperation, we eloped. They wanted to know whether Selena, who spoke regularly to school children about the importance of staying in school and staying off drugs, was as good and honest and generous as she acted in public. Or was she just a really good actress? Did Selena have a dark secret? Was she murdered out of envy? Was her death a result of a drug deal going wrong? Was she having a love affair? Was our marriage over? People so disrespectful. I didn't care about setting the record straight at that point. I didn't answer any questions by the media or Selena's fans. I was too busy desperately trying to wall off that part of my life completely. I couldn't share my memories of Selena because that would mean accepting her death. I grieved in private and survived the loss by staying close to my family and continuing to play music. I even started a band and won my own Grammy for a Latin rock album called Resurrection, which features songs that Selena inspired me to write after she was long gone. Recently, though, I had begun to realize that by burying everything, I actually been living my life with blinders on, just putting one foot in front of the other without really moving forward at all. I started wondering if maybe I needed to remember everything after all, and if writing a book will help me finally come to terms with losing Selena. Not long after I started having those thoughts, I got a phone call from my good friend Carlos. He was one of the few people I told about being in love with Selena back when she and I had to be so secretive about our relationship. It was a strange phone call at first. Carlos wasn't saying much, even though he was the one who called me. Finally, I mentioned that I was thinking about writing a book. Man, that's so weird. Carl said, "Why? What's going on?" I had a dream about Selena last night. That's why I called you. He told me. I was doing a show with my being in the dream, and she came backstage. She was smiling and she gave me a hug. That all sounds good, I said. Yeah, but the strange part is that at first I couldn't get any words out in a dream to talk to her. Carlos said. Then Selena asked me how you were doing, and I lost it. I told her you've been having a really hard time lately. Then what did she say? I was picturing all of this just like it was happening in front of me. Selena gave me this big hug. Carlos said she told me not to worry about you. I got him, she said, just like that. I was quiet for a minute, feeling Selena close to me. Then I said, I think it's time I write that book. Yeah, he said, Selena will want you to do it. So here it is, the story of my life with Selena. She deserves to be remembered not only for her beautiful voice in talent as an entertainer, but as a real woman who loved the ordinary, everyday things, like walking barefoot in the evening to feel the warmth of the sidewalk on her skin. Selena loved as hard as she lived. We loved her in return. Her family, her friends, her fans, and me, her husband, who felt like the luckiest man alive every time Selena said my name. This book is for her. All right, so this book is filled with color in gray and white pictures. Like I said, you would have to get the book. This is To Selena with Love by Chris Perez, who is her husband. Well, he was her husband. Um, that is why I decided to put the late Abraham Quintanilla and Selena Quintanilla Perez as my background for this book. That is a beautiful picture of father and daughter with a few other people in the background. Um, this, I believe that, yeah, this is the only Selena book I got. I don't think it's any other Selena books. It might be, but I just don't got it. Um, Let me see. I was thinking about doing another chapter, but y'all know I don't like reading for too long. Let me see. Nah, I'll wait. As a matter of fact, let me see. Since we're reading about Chris, since we're reading a book by Chris, let me read about him. So his name is Christopher Gilbert Perez. He was born August 14th, 1969. He is currently 56 years old, and he was born in San Antonio, Texas. Sorry. He is an American guitarist, best known as the lead guitarist for the Chicano band Los Dinos. I had to try to pronounce it right, remembering how they pronounced it in the movie. He married the front woman of the group, Selena, on April 2nd, 1992. Perez grew up in San Antonio, Texas, as one of two children to Gilbert Perez and Carmen Medina. In 1986, he began his tenure by joining Shelley Lord's band. By the late 1980s, Perez was respected among Chicano musicians for his guitar skills. This caught A.B. Quintanilla's attention. At the time, A.B. was seeking another guitarist for the band he produced. Selena Ulos Dinos, between 1 and 2 years after Perez joined the band, he and Selena began a personal relationship. And oh yeah, by the way, that picture is what he looked like in 2026. He's a handsome guy. Um, Selena's father, Abraham Quintanilla, rest in peace, forced them to end their relationship because he felt Perez's image might damage Selena's career. They ignored his threats that he would disband the group and continue their relationship. Abraham fired Perez from the band, forbidding Selena to go with him. Perez married Selena in 1992. On March 31st, 1995, Selena was shot and killed by her former friend and former manager of her boutique, boutiques, Solanda Saldivar. Selena's murder greatly devastated Perez, who began abusing drugs and alcohol. Perez formed the Chris Perez Band and began writing songs for their album. They signed with Hollywood Records and released their first album, Resurrection, which won a Grammy Award for Best Latin Rock or Alternative Album. The band disbanded after their second album, uh, Una Noche Más, in 2002, was released. Perez continued in the music business and often played with AB's groups, the Cumbia Kings and the Cumbia All Stars. He left both groups and formed another band, the Chris Perez Project, which included American singer Angel Ferrer in 2010. In 2012, Perez wrote a book about his relationship with Selena entitled To Selena with Love. He went to Thomas Jefferson High School. He's a musician. His spouses were Selena Quintanilla from 1992 to 1995. He married Vanessa Villanueva in 2001 and they divorced in 2008. He has two children. He considers Suzette Quintanilla his sister-in-law, A.B. Quintanilla his brother-in-law, and the late Abraham Quintanilla his father-in-law. And that makes Suzette, not Suzette. What was her name? What was Selena's mom name? Marcia Maria. What was her damn name? His mother-in-law. I don't know why they didn't put her on the list. But his genres is rock, Latin rock, cumbia, Tejano heavy metal. He played the guitar. His years active was 1986 to present. And his labels were EMI Latin, Hollywood Records, and Q Productions. And once again, he was born Christopher Gilbert Perez on August 14th, 1969, in San Antonio, Texas, to Gilbert Perez, a computer programmer in Carmen Medina, who worked at City Hall in a finance accounting department at one point. He is of Mexican American ancestry. Perez's parents divorced in 1974 when he was 4 years old. His mother remarried in 1978. Perez learned to play the French horn in middle school and joined his school's concert band with his mother's support. He decided to teach himself to play electric guitar despite his mother's disapproval due to the negative stereotypes associated with the rock and roll world. Perez's favorite musicians were Van Halen, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Kiss, and the Scorpions. Os- Kiss, the Scorpions, Ozzy Osbourne, and Iron Maiden. He also grew to admire Ricky Martin during the 1990s. Many of his guitar solos were inspired by Carlos Santana. Chris wanted to run away to Los Angeles, California to start a rock band when he was 17. At the time, he shared an apartment with his father, who worked at a library. Perez was then asked by Tony Lores to join his cousin Shelly Lores' band in 1986. Lores told Perez that Shelly performed to general music, a mixture of traditional Mexican folk music polkas, and country music sung in Spanish or English. Perez disliked the general music and wrote in To Selena with Love that he joined Shelley's band with Foot Dragon Resistance because this job paid more than working at the library. He became Shelley's musical director after Tony left the group and co-wrote 3 songs for Shelley's debut album in 1989. His guitar playing received a positive reception from the band and its fans. Around the time, he also formed a rock band with 2 friends and planned to leave Shelley's band. I don't understand much Spanish music, but I do want to get Selena's albums. Uh, Roger Garcia, lead guitarist for Selena y los Dinos, married and left music business in 1989. The group's bassist, A.B. Quintanilla III, had heard good things about Perez from other Chicano groups. He and other band members went to watch Perez rehearse with Shelley. Quintanilla invited Perez to one of Selena's performances and asked if he was interested in playing with Selena y los Dinos. Perez accepted, basing his decision on Los Dinos' sound, which was more hip and sophisticated than other Chicano bands, and he hoped to learn more about musical arrangement from A.B., whose work he admired. Perez's audition, Perez auditioned for the group manager A.B.'s father, Abraham Quintanilla Jr. Abraham initially disliked Perez's rocker image and insisted that he change his appearance for the band. The elder Quintanilla feared that allowing Perez in the group might affect his daughter Selena's perfect image and ruin her career. Oh, wow. AB convinced his father to accept Perez and encouraged Perez to explore different musical genres and mold their sounds to his own tastes. Him and AB became close friends, occasionally collaborated on writing songs for Selena's next recording. Perez, like Selena, knew little Spanish and led keyboardist Ricky Vela tutored him. I said led, I mean lead. To be honest, I don't see nothing wrong with the rock star image. The hair, the clothes. I like the gothic look. And to be honest, I personally feel like they could have mixed that up with some of Selena's looks and gave it sexy, but a more appropriate kind of sexy because you had an issue with her wearing a bustier or a bra with pants and then told her to put on a jacket, but just leave the jacket open. And then the crazy thing about it is kids was coming on stage and it wasn't seen as inappropriate. People were allowing their kids to dance on stage with Selena and that's a lot of people. Look at all these young kids that got these songs with them pumping. Look at the Funky Y2C video. You got these little ass kids dressed as grown ass people pumping and coochie popping and all of that. And now all these years later, people got problems talking why was these grown ass people allowing these kids to dress like adults and be in the videos. Look, Biggie Small did it. Whitney Houston did it. There's a lot of people that got music videos where they allow kids to portray them. People now got a problem with Biggie Small's video "Sky's the Limit." People ain't nobody really say much about Whitney Houston video "I Married Woman," or maybe they did. Who knows? They got a problem with Faith Evans video. I don't know. What was that video? But the thing is, at the end of the day, she was as classy as she could be. and she was respectful. And now look, everybody's walking around with brochures. But anywho, in 1909, Perez and AB wrote Selena's Coca-Cola commercial jingle. After the company accepted the lyrics and Selena filmed the commercial, AB treated the band like a vacation and I mean to a vacation in Acapulco, Mexico. During the trip, Perez realized he was attracted to Selena, though he had a girlfriend in San Antonio. I mean, Perez thought it best for both of them if he tried to distance himself from her, but found it difficult to decide to try building a relationship with her. They expressed their feelings for each other at a Pizza Hut restaurant and shortly afterwards became a couple. They hid their relationship from her father out of fear that Abraham would try to break them up. This stressed Selena, who did not want to hide her feelings. My thing is, at the end of the day, she was grown. She was being grown. And you didn't like his rock star image. But at the end of the day, Selena could have changed his damn life around. He's a damn guitarist. What do you expect him to wear? It ain't like he's singing with her. Everybody got their eyes on Selena. Wasn't nobody really? I mean, yes, he's a handsome man, of course. Chris Perez is very handsome, but the eyes were on Selena. He's just a guitarist. Wasn't nobody really paying attention to the background uh, until probably like the end of the concert when she introduced everybody. Suzette ended up reporting the relationship to Abraham, who took Perez off the snitch, who took Perez off the bus and informed him that it was over. The couple continued their relationship secretly despite Abraham's disapproval. Selena took hope from the fact that her mother, that's her name, Marcella, improved of their courtship until one day when Abraham stopped the tour bus and went to the back where Perez and Selena were sitting. He shouted that their relationship was over and Selena screamed back at him. Perez tried to calm them both down, but joined in the argument after Abraham insulted him by calling him a cancer in my family. Finally, Abraham threatened to disband the group if they did not break up. Intimidated, Selena and Perez backed off. Abraham fired him from the band and prevented Selena from running off with him, leaving Selena both extremely devastated and heartbroken. Fix it, Jesus. After Perez was fired from the band, he moved back in with his father and began playing music wherever he could. He wrote that free of that nerve-wracking situation with her father and the other members of the Latinos, I started enjoying my life again. Well, damn. Selena, however, suffered from their separation and the two tried to keep in touch while she was touring. On the morning of April 2nd, 1992, Selena pounded on his hotel room door. She forced her way in and began to cry, saying she could not go on without him. Selena wanted to get married that day, but Perez argued it was not the right thing to do at the moment. Selena insisted her father would never accept their relationship and would not attend any wedding they planned. Perez agreed, and they eloped in Nueces County, Texas. Selena was sure her father would leave them alone if they were married and they could be together openly. They planned to keep the elopement a secret until she found the right moment to reveal her marriage, but the media announced their elopement over the radio within hours of the marriage ceremony. Selena's family tried to track her down. Abraham did not take the news well and alienated himself for a time. Selena and Perez moved into an apartment in Corpus Christi until Abraham approached them, apologized, and accepted the marriage and Perez back into the band. How sweet. Perez became a fully accepted member of the Quintanilla family after the marriage, and Abraham asked Perez to write songs for the rock band he was managing after he opened a recording studio, Q Productions, in late 1993. That collaboration resulted in a posthumous recording for Selena when the lead vocalist of that rock group, Nino Guerrero Dominguez, went to Selena's house to begin the recording. Perez was in the recording session several hours later when Selena asked to record Dominguez's demo. Her version of the song was unreleased until 2004 when it was added to her posthumous compilation album Momentos Intimos as What Sir AB wrote, "Yeah, no, the last recording for Selena's studio album Amor Prohibido 1994. He wanted to turn it into a rock song and asked for Perez's assistance." My bad. What the hell? Come on now. Okay. In spring 1995, Abraham found out that Yolanda Saldivar, who managed Selena's boutiques and fan club, was embezzling money. They held a meeting in early March, with Saldivar denying she had anything to do with fiscal discrepancies and checks that were found written in her name. Selena tried to repair her friendship with Saldivar despite her father's warnings. On March 30th, 1995, Selena and Perez met with Saldivar at a motel to recover missing financial papers for tax purposes. When Selena Perez arrived home, she found that Saldivar did not give her the correct documents. She phoned Saldivar, who tried to convince Selena to return to her motel room alone. Perez insisted that it was too late and he did not want Selena driving alone at night. Selena then agreed to meet with Saldivar the next morning. Why didn't nobody go with her? On March 31st, Selena woke up early to meet Saldivar at a motel where she was staying. She met with Saldivar, who delayed the transfer of papers with the story about having been raped in Mexico. Selena took Saldivar to a local hospital where doctors found no evidence of rape. When they returned to the motel room, Selena ended their 4-year work relationship. As Selena turned to leave, Saldivar reached into her purse, pulled out a Taurus Model 85.38 caliber revolver, pointed it at Selena, and pulled the trigger. The bullet entered Selena's right shoulder blade from the back, piercing a major artery running from her heart and exiting from just below her right collarbone. She ran to the motel lobby and collapsed to the floor. As the motel employees gathered around, she named Saldivar as her assailant. Selena was transferred to a nearby hospital where doctors found the damage irreparable. She was pronounced dead within the hour. Perez could not eat for 2 days after his wife's murder. In his book, he said that when he could not sleep, he began abusing alcohol and other drugs. He went into seclusion. Family members noticed he was rapidly losing weight. Chris felt guilty for not protecting Selena from Saldivar. In 1996, he moved out of his Corpus Christi house and back in with his father in San Antonio. John Garza introduced him to Vanessa Villanueva, and after getting to know each other, they became a couple in 1988. In 2001, Perez married Villanueva, and they had two children, a boy Noah and a girl Cassie. Although it was rumored that Villanueva did not want to divorce, they wanted to try to work things out in their relationship. The couple finally decided their relationship was irreconcilable. They filed for divorce in 2008. Despite getting married again and having two children, Perez has since remained in touch with the Quintanillas following Selena's death. Perez's friend John Garza moved in with him 6 months after Selena's death. They began writing music, which Perez found healing. In 1998, he formed a rock band with Garza, Rudy Martinez, former member of La Mafia, on bass, former Selena Dino's keyboardist Joe Ojeda, and Jesse Esquivel on drums. The band's name, the Chris Perez Band, was chosen by Garza, Martinez, Ojeda, and Esquivel. Chris preferred the name Cinco Souls, but the other band members wanted to utilize his reluctant celebrity. The band was signed to Highwood Records and went to A&M Studios in Los Angeles to begin recording their debut album. Perez wrote the song "Best I Can" to explore his feelings about losing Selena and his struggle to continue without her. The song was not planned for the album for fear that listeners would think he included the track for commercial reasons, but Hollywood Records and the band convinced him to include it on the album after hearing the demo. Another Day about devotion to Selena was included on the album. Ojeda wrote "Solo 2," a romantic ballad which Perez changed into a rock song. Resurrection was released on May 18th, 1999, and won the 2000 Grammy Award for Best Latin Rock, Urban, and Alternative Album. The record company released two promotional singles, one English and one Spanish. The title track and the ballad "On Porque to" I don't know how to say it, to radio stations with intent to appeal on both to both audiences. The Los Angeles Times wrote that the album was upbeat and danceable. The lyrics speak almost informally of loss, anger, violence, and abandonment. The Chris Perez Band was the opening act for Mexican band Mana. In March 2000, Perez began preparing for his second studio album. On April 16th, the band released its second and final album, Una Noche Más, before breaking up. Perez joined his brother-in-law AB's band, the Cumbia All-Stars, in 2006 and left it in 2010 to form his own band. On April 7, 2005, Los Dinos reunited at the Selena Live tribute concert. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. In 2010, Perez formed a new group, the Chris Perez Project, with Puerto Rican singer Angel Ferrer, releasing Todo is Diferente. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce certain stuff. I'm trying. In March 2012, Perez published Selena with Love, which described their relationship and struggles. He had been reluctant to write the book, saying that fans asked him to write it. He did not seek the approval of the Quintanilla family to write to Selena with Love and did not disclose the project in fear of their reaction. He approached Abraham after the book was finished. Abraham approved of it. In an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Perez said writing to Selena with Love helped him move forward. The book was praised by critics and fans. Selena with Love dispelled the rumor that Selena was pregnant when she died, which had appeared in media reports after her death. In November 2016, Perez announced that a made-for-television miniseries would be made from his book. This prompted Abraham to file a lawsuit against him since it violated an estate properties agreement originally signed between him and the family 2 months after Selena's death in 1995. The lawsuit also sparked a bitter dispute between the family and Perez, who in September 2020 went on Instagram and publicly accused the Quintanilla family of erasing his legacy with Selena. Suzette posted a rebuttal shortly thereafter, and Perez later apologized. The case was settled in September 2021. In August 2021, Perez's label, Blue Mariachi Productions, signed his first act, Zeus El Mero Nicio, alias Carlton Zeus. In December 2021, the 1997 biopic Selena was inducted into the National Film Registry on the film's 25th anniversary. Perez recognized the occasion by posting a statement and photo of a white rose. According to Dallas Morning News, Hollywood.com, justice for Selena, they died too young, and Selena Kamala Floor. Perez is a shy person. He was the antithesis of Abraham Quintanilla's clean-cut, nice kids in his early career as a guitarist for the Selena Yellow Dinos. A rebellious rocker and a long-haired tough guy. In an interview with the Corpus Christi Card-Times, he admitted discomfort at being an entertainer. Until the release of his book, he had kept quiet about his personal life and shied away from media attention. Carlos Valdez, a district attorney who prosecuted Selena Saldivar, described Perez as shy and uncomfortable when in the spotlight. And this was echoed by the Corpus Christi Card-Times. His his inability to talk about himself when interviewed was also discussed in Valdez's book. Valdez said that the music business was does not work for Perez, who enjoyed being a guitarist, and called it his reason for its existence. Valdez considers him honest, sincere, and someone who could be trusted and believed in. All right, I'm not going to read that. In the 1997 biopic film Selena, Perez was portrayed by John Seta, while actor Jesse Palsy portrayed him in Selena the series. This is a list of the albums he was on. most of Selena albums, his band Cumbia Kings albums, and Cumbia All Stars albums. And then his only book is To Selena with Love. That is a bio of Chris Perez. I apologize if I pronounce anything wrong. I do not speak Spanish. That's probably why. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, be notified, and I'll get back to y'all video. Until then, rest in peace to Selena and Abraham. Oops.